Hello exiles. Sorry, I'm a bit sick, but I really wanted to make this video. Recently, GGG dropped the new league. This league brought a lot of interesting things. Obviously, there is the revamp of the breach mechanic, but one of the coolest things added this league was definitely the Foulborn Unique items. So as you probably know, from the Genesis tree, when you birth unique items, they have a chance to be Foulborn, which means it takes a unique item that exists and it will change one of its modifiers to another one, which is not random, it is predefined. The logic behind it is not straightforward, so all in all it changes these uniques in a very broad way. And you know, my thing is to create custom stuff for not only PoE but other games I play, and when I saw it I was like, okay, what Foulborn unique items could I come up with? And so I tried. And so for this video I looked at weapons specifically. I made custom Foulborn unique items out of these weapons. Last resort Nail Fist. It's a claw that you can use directly. It's a low level unique. It's probably used for leveling. Let's check if anyone is using it right now. Last resort. No. One person is using it. Props to him. So yeah, it's a very unused unique, and so I thought it was fitting for a Foulborn version. So the classical version has low physical damage, fairly high crit chance, fairly high attack speed. Its implicit is grants 3 life per enemy hit, and its modifiers are 25% increased attack speed when on low life, 80 to 100% increased physical damage, adds 2 to 10 physical damage, 100% increased claw physical damage when on low life, and 100% accuracy rating when on low life. So I looked at it, I was like, let's make it viable later on, and let's make it so that it is able by itself to power its low life mechanic, or to help reach the low life state. And so for that, adds 2 to 10 physical damage, is replaced with the Foulborn modifier, adds 40-45 to 80 to 98 physical damage while dual wielding. So it gives better phase with the condition of dual wielding. If you wear 2 of those, then both of them have the bonus. But it's clearly not enough to make it relevant, right? And so the second modifier I decided to change is the 100% increased accuracy rating when on low life is replaced with the custom Foulborn modifier, Stitched Claws. Now I just written Stitched Claws as if it's a keystone. The idea is that it is a keystone, or it is something that you find on a cluster jewel, but right now it doesn't exist. But Stitched Claws would be: cannot use gloves, reserves 300 life per equipped claws, lose 6 life on melee hit per equipped claws, and equipped claws are not considered weapons. So you might look at it and think, that's garbage.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
There's an idea behind it. So first, flavor-wise, when you pick this weapon, you replace your hand with it. You cut your hand, you put this weapon in its stead. This is why you cannot use gloves with it, and this is also why you reserve life when you equip it, and also why you lose life when you hit with it, because it's not a clean cut. You've replaced your hand with a weapon. What do you expect? But the upside is that the equipped claws are not considered weapons anymore, because you replace your hands with them. You consider them your hands. And this opens the hollow palm technique, which states you count as dual wielding while you are unencumbered, meaning being unarmed, so no weapons, no offhand, and no gloves. You satisfy these conditions, so that's the idea behind this first item. On to the next one. Hyaon's Fury. I was looking at the weapons. I was looking at melee weapons with interaction with Frenzy Charge. Frenzy Charge generation. If we look at Frenzy Charge generation other than skill, there's Frenzy Charge on kill. Fairly reliable while mapping, but not very reliable against bosses. So you have all these items that do that. Then we have Frenzy Charge generation with Critical Strike, where you have one weapon that does it. But it makes you dependent on Critical Strike, which you might not want to. And you have still Frenzy Charge, and then there are other conditions for Frenzy Charges. The most reliable being this Precursor Emblem modifier with 10% gain of Frenzy Charge on it. And obviously for Frenzy Charge generation, there is also Ascendancy. But what if we make a weapon that allows you to generate Frenzy Charge more easily, not specific skills or specific Ascendancy? And so I went on with Hyaon's Fury. it has interactions with frenzy charges, but it does not generate frenzy charges itself. Right now it reads implicit is global accuracy rating, and then it reads at 1 to 550, 650 lightning damage, 7 to 10 increased attack speed, 1% increased damage taken per frenzy charge, 1% increased damage taken per frenzy charge, 15 to 20% increased lightning damage per frenzy charge, 20 life gained on kill per frenzy charge, and plays wolf call sound on kill. So I looked at it and I was like, 1% increased damage taken per frenzy charge is a downside. One of the things the Foulborn modifiers are known for is to take a downside and make it upside. That's exactly what I did with this first modifier. I replaced it with 3% increased damage per frenzy charge. It's not the strongest modifier, but considering the fact that it is replacing a downside, I think it's fair enough. The second modifier I'm replacing is the 15-20% increased lightning damage per frenzy charge, and it changes into hits have full 6% chance to treat enemy monster elemental resistances values as inverted per frenzy charge. So this makes it a sort of budget Rakata depending on frenzy charges. And there's one last modifier that can be turned into a Foulborn modifier. It is the 20 life gained on kill per frenzy charge, and this is the one that gets turned into 20% chance to gain a frenzy charge on hit with this weapon. So with this modifier, you have a weapon that satisfies your frenzy generation without having to tap into something else. But this becomes your frenzy battery. On to the next one. So the next one is Reach of the Council, which is a very interesting item. Let's read it first, because I don't know if everyone here knows it. And this page is well built in order to understand what's happening here. So it's a bow with socketed gems are supported by level 20 greater volley, 50-75% increased physical damage, 10-16 to 45-60 physical damage. That's 10-16 to 45-60 physical damage, 8-12 increased attack speed, 20% reduced projectile speed. Arrows fired from the first firing points always pierce. Arrows fired from the second firing points fork. Arrows fired from the third firing points return to you, and arrows fired from the fourth firing points chained +2 times. So thankfully there's a very nice description of what's happening here. So Greater Volley adds 4 additional projectiles, and it attributes 4 firing points from each side. And so this unique comes and give them some properties. The arrow at the center, the 0 firing point, there's no property attached to it. From the first firing point, it always pierces. From the second on each side, it forks. From the third on each side, it returns. And from the fourth on each side, it chains. So here you can see that the green, you have this at base because it gives 4 additional projectiles. So you have the main projectile here, 2 here, 2 here. And so to reach the rest, you need to have 8 projectiles total. So it's a very interesting unique item. But I think also it's a perfect candidate for a Foulborn version. And I didn't try to reinvent the wheel here. These arrows fired from X firing points have Y properties, all have a corresponding Foulborn modifier, which states arrows fired from all firing points have the property. So arrows fired from all firing points always pierce, arrows fired from all firing points fork, arrows fired from all firing points return to you, and arrows fired from all firing points chain +2 times. So keep in mind you will have the 4 of them, since right now in the game at least we are limited to getting items with 2 Foulborn modifiers at most. So at most you will have 2 of these modifiers that give their properties to all firing points instead of just 1. And I think it can reinvigorate the use and the interest in this unique. Up next we have Jiquani's Potential, which is a brand new unique item. It's an Imperial Staff that says plus 25% chance to block spell damage while wielding the staff, 1 to 7% increased intelligence, 17% reduced to 17% increased maximum life, 31% increased cost of skills, 1 to 31-53 spell lightning damage per 10 intelligence, and Blood Magic. Blood Magic being a keystone which states removal mana, 10% more maximum life, skill costs life instead of mana, and skills reserve life instead of mana. So you are using your health and you scale your damage through intelligence. But then I read the flavor text, because I love doing that, even though I'm not a lore expert. So it's about Jiquani. I have risked everything, my position, my ambition, my very life. There has to be a way to save our people. If we must, let us tear apart the very foundations of reality. So Jiquani was an architect. You can find him in the Alva temples in Puri 1, but in Puri 2 you have text about him. He is highly intelligent, which is why the item uses intelligence. And he toyed with soul calls, which is sacrifice countless peasants. Some say their screams still echo inside their circles, right? So this peak for this unique is completely from the flavor. So I looked at all that and I was like, this dude is not just someone using blood and life that is very intelligent. It's someone that had to pursue a goal and not stray from it for a long time. So I figured it would make sense if a Foulborn version of it replaced blood magic with another keystone, which is Iron Will, which states strength damage bonus applies to all spell damage as well. So from there I figured it would be interesting if there was another Foulborn modifier that changed the 1 to 7 increased intelligence to transform it into 7% increased strength and intelligence. And as a final touch, 7, 11 to 23, 31 spell physical damage, but 10th strength. So that's it for Jiquani's potential. On to the next unique. And the next unique is Wideswing. So Wideswing is a poleaxe, which has the following modifiers. Socketed gems are supported by level 20 increased area of effect, plus 10 to strength, 120, 160% increased physical damage, gain 10 mana per enemy killed, plus 120, 150 to accuracy rating, plus 0 to meters to weapon range. So you have low physical damage, a good weapon range, which makes sense for a unique called Wideswing. But you can see from here that this unique it's a low level unique. So I found it a great candidate to be Foulborn. And the way I decided to go from it, trying to keep the spirit of the unique. The first Foulborn modifier replaces socketed gems are supported by level 20 increased area of effect. Into the Foulborn modifier, socketed gems are supported by level 30 melee splash. So melee splash is this, it deals splash damage to surrounding targets, and it gives increased melee splash area of effect, and at level 30 it gives 87% increased area of effect for melee splash. So you lose the increased area of effect, but you have a melee splash with a good area of effect. But just this would not be nearly enough. So in addition to this, there is another Foulborn modifier, which changes the plus 0.2 meters to weapon range. Strike skills also targets all other enemies in melee splash range at 50% reduced damage. There are probably tricks you can do with the threatening jar and stuff on kill, but also with everything that happens on hit. And so for the last unique, I chose Reaper's Pursuit. It doesn't have a particular lore, but it has the flavor of being the axe of the Reaper. And when reading this unique item, I didn't feel like it really was. So I wanted the Foulborn version to make it more like a Reaper's Pursuit. So right now, Reaper's Pursuit has the following modifiers: 100, 125% increased physical damage, 30, 40% increased rarity of items found, gain 10 life per enemy killed, 15% increased movement speed when on full life, Cutting Strike, and hits can't be evaded. So I landed on 3 Foulborn modifiers for this unique. The first one replaces the 30-40% increased rarity of items found with the Foulborn modifier, 1% increased critical strike chance per 2 rampage kills, Rampage being this cool mechanic with a kill counter going up and up the more you kill in the past 5 seconds without stopping. And it does stuff based on the number of kills. And there are unique items that give Rampage, and most often than not when they give Rampage, have effects tied to Rampage, the number of Rampage kills extra. So here I gave Rampage to Reaper's Pursuit because I thought it was fitting. And the bonus you get from Rampage kills is Critical Strike, which I think is also fitting of a Reaper's Pursuit. And finally, I decided that the gain 10 life per enemy killed could be replaced with a Foulborn modifier. Your damage can always leech, which is a modifier that would prevent the cases when you cannot leech from monsters, like the map modifier. It would nullify the monsters cannot be leeched from a map modifier, and also the rare monsters modifier. I think there are rare monsters modifier, or maybe it comes from a tormented spirit that prevents leeching. But anyway, now you would always be able to leech. And that's it. That was the 6th and last unique I had this time. So there's this video. I hope you like it. You can look forward to future videos. I still plan to do videos. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself, exiles. Have fun. Don't get landmined. Bye.